Hey friend, it is Kate here. Thank you so much for jumping on my channel and joining me here for day 21 of our 30-day challenge. If you are brand new here, again, my name is Kate, and I usually make Pilates, yoga, and mindful movement classes just for you. All bodies, all shapes, all sizes are welcome here, and you have caught us in the middle of a 30-day challenge. You can start right from here and keep going. You can go back to the beginning if you want to. I'll put a link above where you can find that. But know that this is not about perfection, and today, for all my friends that have been with us, this is a relaxing class, a lovely stretch class that I like to do before I go to bed. It's kind of one of those that kind of helps me unwind, get into my body. Now, I can't promise we'll get to every nook and cranny of the body today, but it is one of my favorites to really wind down both my body and mind. So I hope you enjoy. I hope after all that we've been doing, you can be excited about a lovely relaxing class. Just roll out that mat. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's get started. We are starting in a child's pose, and as you can see, I've got a little blanket, a little towel underneath my knees just to give myself a little extra padding. If you want to do that, you can. You can also fold up the mat a couple of times, or even like grab a thin pillow if your knees are feeling particularly sensitive. But this is just enough for me right now. Knees can be together or apart, whatever works better for you, but I want you to crawl your hands out and away and just let yourself sink. Now, you might really want to extend those arms nice and far away. You might want to let them bend a little bit, maybe even make a little bit of a diamond shape if that feels good in your shoulders. Now, you might notice that my head is not touching the ground, and that's mostly so I don't smash the mic down into the mat. But you relax your head and neck, and just take a big deep inhale, and a great big breath out. Again, full breath in, big audible sigh out. One more time. Let it go. Seal your lips together and begin breathing through your nose. And just take a moment to notice what's going on in your body today. Maybe you need to adjust. I just realized that I would prefer my knees a little further apart so I can really stretch those hips. Notice if there are any places that have a particular amount of tension or resistance. Maybe you need to move a little bit to find that perfect place. And then pay attention to what's going on in your mind. Are you able to quiet your mind right now, or is it running away with itself? Maybe from all the things you've been doing all day, all the task list and to-do list. But for the remainder of class, can you give yourself permission not to think about those things right now? Instead, simply paying attention to your breath, your body, and knowing that those to-do lists, those tasks, those things that you either didn't get done today or that you know you need to do tomorrow, instead, no, they're still going to be there. But right now, this is all about you, your body, your mind relaxing, your breath easing. No, there's no hurry, there's no rush in this class whatsoever. You can go as fast, as slow as you'd like to. Now, as you feel ready, I want you to put a little weight into your hands. Inhale, rise up onto your hands and your knees. Exhale, sink back into your child's pose. Inhale, round up, find your little tabletop. Exhale, lightly arch the back as you roll down. Once or twice more, just like that. Noticing if there's any tension from the day left over in your body. Is there somewhere during this class that you know you're going to want to focus on? Hopefully we'll hit it, but if we don't, know that you can always spend a little extra time in that one area. Now this next time, rise up to your hands and your knees and find a true tabletop. Since this is more about relaxing, I'm not going to cue quite as much of our abdominal engagement as usual, but know that if you get tension in your low back at any point, it could be because we're not activating our low belly muscles as much. Today, instead, though, I do want you to pay a little bit more attention to what feels good to your body. So let's start by tipping our pelvis and rocking back and forth in a true cat and cow. Think of almost pressing away from the mat as you round and arch, trying to almost lift your hands off of the mat if you could. And then slow that down and return to your easy tabletop. I want you to take a big deep inhale. And as you exhale, look over your right shoulder and almost think of pulling your right hip and right shoulder together so we fan open our left ribs. Take a big breath. Return to center. And then look over the opposite shoulder to that back hip, kind of drawing your hip towards your shoulder. And then back to center. Let's do that again, and maybe you go a little faster or a little slower than what I might be doing. This is all about you, your time, your journey, your body. And then after this last one, after we even ourselves out, return yourself to center. Press out and away. And for my friends that have sad wrists, you remember you can always roll up your mat and take some of that pressure off that wrist. If you haven't seen me do that modification, that's always a good one. All I want us to do are crawl our fingertips out further away, bend our knees, and rest your elbow on the ground. Think about reaching that right hand a little bit further forward and almost hollowing your armpit as you sit back. And then slowly bring yourself up, again reaching that hand forward. Circle the arm back behind you a couple of times. Big inhale as you reach. Exhale as you draw it in. Now, if this was a regular class of mine and not one really about relaxation and stretching, I would definitely be cueing to keep your hips stable. But if they move and groove around right now, that's okay as long as it's feeling good. Reverse those circles. And your circle might be smaller than mine, that's okay. If it really doesn't feel good to sit on your knees, you could just be in an easy pose with your legs crossed in front of you and circling the arms too. I like being on my hands and knees for this one because I can kind of get my upper body and my spine into it all at once. Hand back down. And then reach the left hand or the opposite hand out. Crawl it away as you lean back. Maybe pulling that elbow closer to your knee. Really thinking of hollowing the armpit, taking a little bit of stretch to the front of that left pec. And then pull yourself back up and begin circling the arm. No hurry, no rush. Circle in the other direction when you're ready. And then bring it all the way back down. And then from here, let's tuck our toes and go into a little bit more of an activated child's pose. If it feels too much to tuck those toes and you're putting pressure on your knee, that's okay. For me, when I tuck my toes and press my heel back, I get a little bit of a stretch through the bottom of my foot, which can really feel nice at the end of the day, especially if I've been on my feet all day. And then again, pull yourself back up. And we're going to take our right foot behind us. Now, we're not lifting that leg at all here. Instead, we're going to rock our weight back, pressing our heel towards the ground, and then rock our weight forward. If this is too much on our wrist, we could be just as easily down here on our forearms instead. Just do whatever works better for your body right now. Last one, press that heel back, stay. Now I want you to tip your heel towards the other side of the mat. And reach your toe to that other side as well. Stack, open up, big stretch. One big inhale. Exhale, slowly pull yourself all the way back. And then again, let's tuck those toes, send your hips all the way back. Find that nice big child's pose with our heels pressing down, a little stretch to the back. of the feet, the soles of the foot, and then rise back up. Oh, I don't know if you could just hear that pop, but I had a nice pop in my hip. I don't know if the mic would have caught that or not. But go ahead and send that other foot out, and again, we'll rock back and forward. Back and forward. No hurry, no rush. When you feel even from the other side, press that heel back, hold. That feels extra good on this side. I must have a little bit of a tightness through my left side right now. I'm going to drop my heel to the right side of the mat, turn my toes, and lift up for a big stretch. And if it feels nice to move and groove here, you do whatever you need to. Slowly set that hand down. And then this time we are again going to tuck our toes and press ourselves back. But we're going to unfold into our downward facing dog, lifting your hips up. Now, if you need to move that blanket out of the way, that's fine. It can also stay there for a little bit. It's not the end of the world. But I want you to bend your knees and then straighten the legs. Bend the knees and then straighten the legs and pedal through the feet. Almost make a figure 8 sort of motion with your hips, kind of swiveling those hips back and forth. Notice as you swivel those hips back and forth, you might find some of that kind of fanning action of our ribs like we did on the ground. And then slow that down. Take a big, deep, full inhale and a big, easy sigh out. Let your head be heavy. Let it droop. Often I cue for that head to be in line with your arms, but right now just relax the neck. If this is too much, modify how you need to. Maybe just come down onto your hands and knees and let that head hang. Maybe drop your forearms so you're in a dolphin and we don't have so much pressure on our wrist. There are always options. No hurry, no rush, but I want us to walk our toes forward so we're in a little forward fold. Not a big, crazy forward fold at all. Big, soft bend in the knee. Still let that head hang nice and heavy. And again, let's sway our hips a little side to side. Notice if there's any tension through our IT bands, through the sides of our hips. Again, sometimes that figure 8 kind of shape that we were doing in our downward facing dog can feel very nice right here, and we might find some little tense spots. No rush, no hurry. Slow that down. Droop a little bit more. Bend the knees and slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing. Take a moment standing tall and straight and just notice how we're feeling from when we started class. Standing up tall and straight, all I want you to do is drop your right ear to your right shoulder and lengthen through the left side of your neck. Take a big deep inhale. As you exhale, let your chin fall to chest. Bring your gaze upright. Opposite ear to opposite shoulder. I think about pressing my shoulder down, lifting my ear up so I can find that great big stretch along the side of my neck. Big inhale. Exhale, let that chin roll to chest. Let's do that once or twice more on each side. Ear falls over. Exhale, roll down. Gaze back up. Ear drops over. Exhale down. Bring your gaze back up. Take a big breath. Bend your knees. Roll slowly all the way down to the ground. And then one more time, we're going to come to our downward facing dog, and this will be the last downward dog that we do. Now, especially at the end of the day, if I've been seated at a desk all day or maybe driving more than normal, dolphin pose is one that feels really good. It is a big pose, so if it's not in our wheelhouse today, that's okay. But if you want to drop your forearms down and press your chest a little bit closer or a little bit further away, almost towards your shins, that can be nice. If this pose is too much, we can stay in our downward facing dog, or we should have plenty of modifications that we can do for our own body. There's no hurry, There's no rush. But eventually we're going to drop our knees down, toes tucked or untucked, knees together or apart, your choice. Reach out and away. And roll yourself up. We're going to bring our feet out in front of us. If you need to keep that blanket nearby, that's great. If we want to move it off to the side, that's wonderful too. But let's just sit with our feet together, knees apart. This can be a big pose for some of us. Actually, if you have a blanket or a towel, and this is a great big rough pose for us, a really quick and easy modification that you can do is rolling your blanket or towel up and placing it around your ankles, and it gives the back of your leg or the side of your leg just a little bit of support when we're in feet together, knees apart. This is a really big pose. Another easy way to modify this position is to sit on something. You don't have to keep it rolled up like I did, but I just mean sitting on something a little bit higher so your hips are higher than your feet is going to help those knees fall off to the side. So just a couple of little easy modifications that we can work on. Now here with our feet together, knees apart, different instructors have different things. Sometimes they really tell you to press your feet together, and I can understand where that's coming from. That doesn't feel great for my body, but I also have very open hips. It's very easy for me to let my knees fall off to the side. In fact, I'm feeling a little tight today because they're not even falling all the way to the ground. But I like to open my feet up kind of like a book. Some people prefer to press them together, and that's kind of a your body, your call. Now, I do like to hold on to the front of my shins, although if that is not accessible for your body, then we can, you can just take an easy pose crossing the legs, or we could sit in any other way. But really what I want us to do in our seated pose is take a big inhale, and then exhale, round back, dropping the chin to the chest. Inhale, roll the shoulders, sit up tall and straight. Exhale, round back. Inhale, roll up. Last one, round back and hold. Let that head be heavy, maybe nod it a little bit. No hurry, no rush. And then slowly bring yourself up to a seated pose. Again, if you find that this is not comfortable, feet together, knees apart, there are so many other ways to sit. You don't have to. This feels best on my hips right now. It kind of helps to relax them at the end of the day for me. Now, I do want you to swim your hands way up high. Reach along and out of your waist, and then flip the hands, bring them down. Again, inhale, reach them up nice and high. Exhale, press them down. One more time, inhale, take them up. Exhale, bring them down and look over your right shoulder. Now I'm going to take my hand to either my foot and right behind me or to the back of my thigh so I can twist a little deeper. Now if you're having to like yank totally, then we probably don't want to go so far. We just want to take that twist as deep as we can without feeling like our breath is like stagnated. But go ahead and look over that shoulder. Press your left shoulder down as you look over the right. Take a big inhale. Release that. Hands to the fronts of the shins again, or to wherever feels best. And again, round back. Roll up. Round back. Roll up. One more time, round back. Roll up. And then swim the hands up. Exhale, press down. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, press down. Last time, hands high. And we'll take our twist to the other side. So left hand behind you, right to either your foot, your shin, your thigh, so we can look behind us or in a diagonal line if that works better for our body. Take a big deep inhale. Let that go. And if it feels nice to do those kind of seated cat and cows again, because that always feels good on my spine, you of course can. But we're eventually going to lie all the way down. So take yourself onto your back, however you want to get there. And just let yourself lie flat for a moment. Maybe open your hands out and away from you, palms up to the sky or down to the ground. Again, whatever works better for your shoulders. Palms up normally helps me, especially when I'm relaxing. Maybe open your feet a little wider than your hips so your legs can fall towards one another. Now, if you don't have a lot of internal rotation, that might not feel very good. You can just keep them parallel, or you could just walk the feet in so they're touching one another. But from here, I simply want you to take a little windshield wiper of the knees side to side. Big or small, fast or slow, totally your call. And then from here, walk your feet in a little closer to your hips and think about really imprinting the spine, pressing the small of the back down. Keeping that feeling and that spine pressing down, our low belly in, even though I said I wasn't going to cue that very much. I want you to take your hands over your head. Now, if your ribs splay, that's okay right now, but I still don't want that low back to lift away because we're thinking about really lengthening there. All day long, we can put a lot of pressure on that lumbar spine, and it's nice to give it the support from the ground. The more I kind of press my feet into the floor and keep that low body activated, the more I can relax my back, imprint the spine, and just get some great big stretching. Eyes can be opened or closed, whatever feels good. Reach longer through your right hand. Let that go. Reach longer through the left hand. Let that go. If it feels nice, do that again, side to side, or maybe both hands nice and long at the same time. And then eventually just let them fall open to the side and begin to relax the body. Are you trying to control any shape? Does your back naturally arch right here? If it naturally arches and it doesn't feel bad, that's fine. If you're getting tension when you do that, then actively press into your feet so you can keep it nice and long. And then again, let's take that little windshield wiper side to side. Now from here, I want you to lift your right leg up and just cross it over your left. Now, if you don't cross it quite as deeply as I do, or maybe you've got more range of motion, some people can like hook that totally behind, like in an eagle pose. I don't have that range of motion, to be honest. Either open that knee off, that feels better at the little cross like you're sitting in a chair. Whatever is perfectly fine, but take your hands out to a T, take a big inhale, and as you exhale, reach your legs over to the left. Now, for some, this might be too much. And that's okay if it is. Then just take the twist as small as you want to. If you've got a cushion nearby, you could put your cushion underneath your legs so your twist is a little bit more shallow. If it feels nice to unravel the legs instead, that might feel better for us as well. There are so many ways to do a supine twist, so don't feel like this is the end-all be-all. But just let yourself relax here. If there's tension in your body, if you feel like you're having to control yourself here, adjust so you can still take the twist, but not have to actively turn on your muscles. Instead, I just want you to be soft in this pose. Take a big, deep inhale. Great big breath out. Another full breath in. Let it go. Now, supine twists are one of those poses where I can truly stay for probably like a good 10 to 20 minutes. It just feels really nice on my spine, especially my low back. This might be too much for some of us. If we've got any pregnant ladies out there, I know I've got a few that have told me they're doing this big twist, are not advised. I haven't given a lot of pregnancy modifications, but I certainly hope you know your body well enough just to listen to it. Now, when you're ready, rather than actively pulling your legs up, I actually like to unravel my legs and then just stretch them nice and long. And again, reaching your fingertips out and away. Maybe move the hips a little. It can feel kind of nice to do that. But then we will bend our knees, imprint our spine again, and cross our left leg over our right, or vice versa if we did the other side. Take that hands out to the T and drop it over. Now, I didn't say it on the other side, but I do almost always get some pops in my back when I do these twists. I have been told by physicians and physical therapists, as long as pops don't hurt, then we are in a good place. If there's pain, then you want to see someone. Again, I am not a physician. I am not a physical therapist. That is what I've been told. So do your due diligence, take care of your body how you need to. But just let yourself relax here. Again, one of my favorite things to do. I will do this in bed too. While you probably wouldn't want to do downward facing dog in your bed or standing, you could do a lot of this. All the hands and knees stuff, all the seated stuff. This could all be done just lying in your bed, really relaxing, and then just falling asleep when you're all done. Feel free to stay here for a few more breaths, but as you feel even from the other side, unravel, send your legs out nice and far away. Take your hands high over your head. Take one more big, deep stretch from the tip of your toes through your body, out your fingertips. Maybe wiggle the fingers. Maybe give yourself a little hug if that feels nice. And then do just find a really relaxing pose to spend the last few moments of class in. Maybe that's feet together, knees apart. Maybe you want your hands on your chest or off to the side. But go ahead and come to that nice, relaxing Shavasana, our final resting pose, and close your eyes. Just as we started class, take a moment to notice, are there places that we didn't get to that you need to pay attention to? If so, maybe just explore when we're done here, those areas of the body. I'm sure you can intuitively find a few stretches that would feel nice. And then again, I want you to pay attention to your mind, to your thoughts. Maybe we've really let go of the day behind us, and instead you're just focusing on how good a little bit of movement can make you feel. Take one more big inhale. Let that go. And as you let that breath go, let any sort of thought from your day slip away as well. Instead, spend the last few moments here thinking or just relaxing, hopefully more than thinking, but finding a sense of calm, of peace. If it's helpful to bring someone or something to mind that can help you relax, that can help you soften your muscles, your joints, your breath, your body, do that. Stay here as long as you want to. But eventually we can wiggle our toes, our fingers. You can pull your knees into your chest, giving yourself a hug, a squeeze. Any little movement that's calling to you. Eventually blink your eyes open, roll yourself up to a seat. And as always, take a moment here, pat yourself on the back, thanking yourself for doing something so good and just for you. I certainly hope you enjoyed our really relaxing, restorative, little stretchy yoga class. It's one of my favorite things to do before I go to bed. I certainly hope you enjoyed, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow.